Red? He's dead. Legends Arceus Superboss. Ancient history. Nemona is the top champion of this franchise, and no one will ever steal her crown.
Oh wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Greetings, Pokemon trainers! My name is Qman. Recently, I have seen a YouTube video by Imported Cheeses talking about a hypothetical Super Nemona boss fight in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. While the boss fight itself does not exist, it got me wondering, just what Pokemon could somebody bring to take this team down, as it's a very, very powerful core of Pokemon. So, I decided to take it upon myself to come up with counters for each one of her individual team members, and then one way to sweep her team fully at the very end. But before we get on to individual counters, I think it's a good idea for us to get an overall view of the battle, and I'll let Imported Cheeses himself explain what she brings.
She uses a full team of 6 level 85 Pokemon, all with held items, maximum individual values, and natures and effort values tailored to their role. Her team is independent of the starter you choose. She will use all 3 of the Paldean starters, all with their hidden abilities. She has a dedicated lead and last Pokemon, but the order of her other 4 Pokemon depends on the flow of the battle. Finally, she has one especially nasty trick as Nemona's trap card. Unusual Terra types.
Now let's get on to the individual Pokemon themselves, and while I do not know their direct effort values, as they are not shown in the video, I can just kind of assume what they are based on what he says. For example, I'm just going to assume Garchomp is max HP and max defense due to it being a bulky Garchomp. First up is the bulky Garchomp. Now, this one might seem really hard due to the fact that it has a pretty broken moveset. Except for one, Outrage. Outrage locks the user into a move, so if you send out Dragon-type Pokemon and then proceed to switch it into a Fairy-type Pokemon, Garchomp will still be locked into Outrage and be unable to perform any other action due to the fact that it just is locked into Outrage. This allows you to easily get around the Terra Steel mechanic and KO the Garchomp while it's still Dragon-type.
Hello guys, welcome to my Minecraft Let's Play.
Next up is Meowscarada, and while I could repeat what he said in his video talking about how First Impression can shut this thing down, especially from a Slitherwing, I'm gonna have to go with Talonflame instead. Talonflame's ability Gale Wings grants flying type attacks priority if it has full HP, allowing you to get off a Brave Bird before Meowscarada can use any of its moves. On top of that, since Talonflame is a flying fire type and not weak against Fairy, it won't Terra into Fairy to block the attack. Hey, future Qman edits here. I was a complete dum-dum and completely forgot to point out that you can also just use a poison type there to counter both of its grass and fairy type strengths. So even if it does like use its Terra, you can just hit it super effectively. Like, the Talonflame still works, but, like, you're probably better off just using a poison type there, but, anyway, back to your normally scheduled video.
We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. That's right! We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu!
While you were busy making bird calls like a man, hey!
Jake Freebird was trying to boost his stats. Now, the combination of Aqua Step and Moxie might seem pretty terrifying for the fact that if one of your Pokemon gets KO'd, he gets a Dragon Dance. However, this is kind of less threatening than other ones on the team due to the fact that, like, he's pretty weak in general. Like, you can effectively bring a Fairy and kind of, he just can't hit you super effectively. He's going to hit you neutrally, but like you can hit him super effectively unless he tears electric, which unless you bring a Azumarill, he's probably not going to do. For this one, you can use two different Pokemon. You can either use Dracopult due to its faster speed and harder hitting attacks, Or if you can lock it into Torch Song, you can use the Butter Dog to just constantly gain well-baked body boost due to it being immune to fire types. Plus it gives you a lot of defense, which allows you to easily take out most of the other physical attackers on the team. At first glance, this one might make you just go...
Yeah, we did.
So you might be wondering, how in the world do I stop this undead monkey from destroying everything I love? Well, the answer to that is that you want to take it out in one single strong hit. I would personally recommend an Iron Valiant. Using a booster energy, you can typically tend to one-shot it. If not, 1 or 2 shots tend to be the bare minimum you can hit it with. Or you can use a cheese strategy. Using the Pokemon Garganical, you can hit it with 1 Salt Cure and then proceed to stall it out. Mainly because the Salt Cure damage isn't a direct attack, and Rage Fist only tends to take direct attacks, not statuses. You can also use Toxic that way, but Garganical's funnier because you kill it with Salt. Just like the Super Smash Bros. Community.
Okay, if I chop you up in a meat grinder.
Hey, Future Qman here. Just wanted to quickly point out what Salt Cure does. For those of you who don't know, Salt Cure is a move that infliges the Salt Cured status. Basically, Salt Cured takes 1/8 of the Pokemon's HP every turn that it's hit by, and lets its dealer water, which then it increases to 1/4. And since it's not a direct attack on Annihilape, you don't increase the Rage Fist power at all. That is all. So anyway, time to return to your regularly scheduled video. Just use Grimstarl's taunt and then just not let it revive. It's not a big threat by itself. You can, as long as you just don't have it revive any of the other team members, you should be fine.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
So now you might be wondering to yourself, how in the world do you sweep her entire team with Corviknight? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Number 1 is to get as many boosts as you can against Garchomp. First off, set up a whole bunch of bulk ups, due to him not hitting you super effectively, and resisting his Earthquake Stab by just not being affected by it. Next up, use a whole bunch of X items to increase all of your stats to humongous levels. Then, just hit Power Trip. Power Trip is a move that directly deals damage based on how many stat boosts you have. And if you played your cards right against Garchomp, you should be all maxed up. The only Pokemon you have to worry about in the late game is Skeledirge, due to its Unaware ability completely ignoring your stat boost offensively. Except Power Trip doesn't get unawared. Power Trip just boosts its base power by all of your stat boost. So you can just kind of ignore their Unaware to just hit him and knock him out in one hit. And then the rest of the team just tends to do the same. At some point with all these stat boosts, they literally cannot touch you, allowing Corviknight to easily just sweep through their entire team and destroy everything with very little resistance. So overall, that's how you would defeat each one of Nemona's Pokemon. Do you have a different strategy that you would have employed? Do you think that my Pokemon picks are completely and utterly stupid? Just let me know in the comments what you guys would have done. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Please, I need subscribers or I'll die!
Are you in charge of this? Turn it off. You have to shut this off. Turn them all off. Turn your lights in your house off, too.